to the Wednesday Call Live. Now let's hear for our special guest host, Terry Edwards.
Woo-hoo-hoo! What's up, Alliance Nation? You know what time it is. It is 12:30 on a Wednesday, so we know that is the TWC. This is where the whole alliance from across the nation, from sea to shining sea, what we do is we take a pause. We just ate our little lunch, and now we're ready to get educated. Every single week, we do this call at 12:30 Eastern Time, just as a way to keep everybody informed, engaged, inspired, enlightened, and all of that good stuff. Before we go another step further, let me pause and give honor where honor is due. Thank you so much, Andy and Jane Albright, for creating a space where people like me, just ordinary people, can come into an extraordinary system and go from 0 to 100 real quick. Thank you so much for sacrificing all of the sleepless nights, the blood, sweat, and tears. And we're just forever grateful. Tia and I, the entire dream team, and I believe I'm speaking for all of the Alliance. We are so, so grateful. Now, we have a lot of great stuff going on. Also, before I go another step further, thank you, Jason and Olga Mathis, for publishing a Craigslist ad almost 8 years ago that I saw when I was at one of my lowest points in my life. So I will always be forever grateful for Jason and Olga, as well as my good friend Andy Riddle and Angela Manzo. So now we got protocol established. We could go ahead and move forward, guys. We have a lot of great things going on. But one of the most pivotal dates that everybody that's connected to the Alliance needs to have on their schedule is April the 21st through the 23rd. Listen, if no one has invited you, this is your personal invitation. We would like for you to join us, the leadership of the Alliance and the Alliance community in general, in Denver, Colorado, April the 21st through the 23rd, which is our next big national event. We call this event A View from the Edge. Listen, guys, the whole title of that event just gets me excited. A View from the Edge. You know, when you're standing on the edge of something and you happen to peek over, you don't know what's on the other side of that edge. But what I do know is on the other side of the edge of our comfort zone is where life begins, guys. So on April the 21st through the 23rd, Marcus Setta has put together a phenomenal weekend. Let me give you some ideas of who you're going to be hearing from. You're going to hear from Jane and Andy Albright, the couple that started this whole company in their basement over 20 years ago. That's right. You're going to get to hear directly from them. You're going to hear from Mark Aceta. Now, Mark Aceta, I met Mark Aceta when I was a part of another company, and he did this same event, A View from the Edge. Now, keep in mind, it's not the same event every single year. He always adds twists and turns through it. But just if you want to know kind of like what's in store, it's sort of like going to a Broadway play, like several Broadway plays, but you ain't got to buy tickets for each play. You got one all-inclusive. It's an all-inclusive combo meal. It's the Cardi B offset. Lord have mercy. I went to McDonald's yesterday, seen Cardi B up in McDonald's. All right, Mark Aceta, the $1 million lady, $1 million in issue paid business. Would you like to learn from Megan Wood? Huh? What about Belle Krause? You've seen Belle on TWCs and activity calls. Guess what, guys? She is phenomenal on the screen, but wait till you hear her live. My brother from another mother, Brian Rojas. Oh my gosh, down in Tampa, Florida, killing the game. He is going to be, I'm telling you this, one of the team members on our team took an concept that they learned from Brian Rojas at our family reunion event and put over $3,000 in his pocket. Some people be like, these events cost money. It's a little expensive. I say, but the investment, what you're going to gain from it is way more valuable than the cost. My cousin, he ain't my real cousin, but we got the same last name, so let's just roll with it. Jeremico Edwards. That's right, Mr. High-Low Operator himself, baby. When we talking about duplication today, Jeremico is a product of duplicating in this system. You're going to get to learn from him. My man, Mark Hutchison, up in the mountains of North Carolina, he is going to be explaining it to you. My upline, Mr. Jason Mathis. That's right. Jason Mathis, why it says he's from Fort Lauderdale, that joker is from South Carolina. He just as country as I am. He's going to break it down to you guys of how he's built a massive organization all across the country. It was crazy. We look at our top 10 paychecks in the Ritter hierarchy, and in the Ritter hierarchy, 7 out of the top 10 income earners last week is on Jason and Olga Mathis' team. Good God Almighty. And last but not least, Mr. Mike Leventovich, he will be in the building. But listen, y'all, go to www.theallianceevents.com. www.the, that's THE, alliance, and then the events, S on the end.com for all of the information on hotels and all that stuff. The ticket prices right now are $399. Listen, guys, I spent more money on my college education than $399. I guarantee you, if you come to this event, you will get your money's worth. Now, in 6 more days, the ticket price is going up. So if I was you, number one, I would block those dates off in my calendar, April the 21st to the 23rd. Fly out on that Monday, because we ain't gonna get done about 8 o'clock on Sunday, and then we're gonna have an after party. And then after the after party, it's the after party. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna all fly out on Monday. So go ahead, put the dates in the calendar, get your hotels, get your flights, get your Ubers, whatever you got to do. I don't care how you get there, just get there if you can. And listen, they done changed up a little thing. So with the VIPs for RM and above, this is the way it's going to work. The top 10 people who get butts in a seat. See, at the last event, it was just tickets sold. But Tia Ray said, some of y'all just bought tickets and your team members didn't show up. So I'm going to fix y'all tail. That's what Tia Land said. That's just my word. She probably printed it up. So what she is saying is this right here. Who's going to be named VIP? The top 10 regional managers and above who gets butts in the seat. People need to be registered before the red carpet event on Friday. Speaking of the red carpet event, get your best. Get your Sunday's best, as we say in the Carolinas. You want your Sunday to go to meeting attire. I mean, dress it up for our red carpet event. The paparazzis are going to be out there. People going to be pulling up in limousines. It's going to be amazing. So we got a view from the edge. We got that knocked off. I killed that. Now, a bunch of us, we are getting very, very excited because next month, we're going to be trekking over to Ireland. The Alliance is taking over Ireland, baby. It's going to be a shakeup in the makeup. And for some people who didn't qualify, I know that maybe you're not as excited, but I got something that you too can get excited about. Because while I know Ireland is going to be good, we are all in the midst of qualifying for our next all expense paid vacation that we will go on in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to New Zealand. Listen, let me just, if you ain't excited about it, let me just read this to you. Set sail with the Alliance as we travel across the globe on an all expense paid trip to visit the natural beauty. This is New Zealand. Board a Royal Caribbean Ovation of the Seas for 10 magical days and enjoy the limitless possibilities of fun and entertainment on board. You'll be leaving port from Sydney, Australia. God, listen, y'all, the trip starts in Australia. We over here in the United States, the trip don't even start in the United States. The trip starts in Australia. Can you tell I get excited? Okay, so how do you get there? This is how you qualify. Okay, you need 250,000 marketing credits. Okay, every dollar in premium equals a credit. I would highly recommend you write this down. So that way, not only do you know how to qualify, but being we talking about duplication, you can tell your team how to qualify. So this is the thing, guys. If you have never traveled with us before, you are going to be majorly incentivized to attend the View, Breakthrough, and Family Reunion, our next 3 big events. Because if you never traveled with us before and you just show up to those events, you're going to get 40,000 bonus points per event. Ladies and gentlemen, 40,000 times 3 is 120,000. We need 250, subtract out 120 for just, you remember the SAT? You used to get 200 points for putting your name on the paper. We got the SAT rules for the trip. 120,000 minus 250, so you only need 130,000 points. So if you never qualified for a trip before, listen, and you're just getting started, you got 9.5 months. Matter of fact, if you started before January the 15th, you got 9.5 months. That's only about $3,400 in issue paid premium each week for the rest of the year to experience an all expense paid vacation. Okay. Now, if you've traveled with us before, don't worry. Andy got bonus points for you too. 25,000 for each event. Now you only need 175 because you're going to show up to the events. That's only $4,600 in issue paid premium each week if you starting at 0 today. Now, if you're just got started with us after January the 16th, instead of you getting 40,000 bonus points, you're going to get 60,000 bonus points just for showing up to our major events. Why do we do that? Because we believe when you show up to these events, it's something magical, something big decisions are made at big events. And we're going to talk about that because we have a team within the Dream Team right now that from a national convention to now, their production has tripled. And a big part of that was people coming out of that event. So if you're brand new, 60,000 after January 16th, you only need 70,000. So you go to all the events, you only got to pay 70,000 between now and the end of the year. That's about 2 apps a week. We want you to experience traveling the Alliance way. We want you to come. So if that don't make it any better, Columbian Financial Group, CFG, they got the cash flow glow, baby. CFG, double points. So when you write business with Columbian Financial Group, you get double credit through the end of March. Now, they done extended it once. They done extended it again. I don't know if they're going to do it again, but let's take advantage while it's available, okay? So we want everybody to come to the View. And also, that's a big part of qualifying for New Zealand. And in between the big events, we have several local events on a regular basis. Like last night, we lit Charlotte on fire last night. You hear me? Like that daggone TikTok. We had a time last night. We had a blast last night in Charlotte. The team coming together and just bonding and talking and sharing and encouraging one another. But guess what? Yesterday is over. Let's talk about what's happening today. Tonight at 7 o'clock, Andy Albright himself, along with Stephen Davis and a jet load of people, they are flying into Naptown, Indianapolis, Indiana on tonight at 7 o'clock. So if you're within a 5-hour radius of there, I highly recommend get over there. You got also tonight in Ogden, Utah, you got Joe Dukes and Gina Hawks at 7 o'clock. And then on tomorrow, you got Gina Hawks over at Jake and Veray's office in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, they're going to be doing a training from 2 to 5 and then an opportunity meeting at 7. Mr. Adam Katz is out in Kansas City, Missouri tomorrow doing a training at 2 and an opportunity meeting at 7. And also my uplines, Jason and Olga Mathis, will be hosting a hotspot down in an opportunity meeting down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So if you go into the ARC and go down to the bottom and click on Alliance Hotspots, you will be able to see a list of all the events that's going on so that not only you can plug in, but you can get your friends, your mama, and your cousin too to tapping in too, okay? All right, guys, and I'm getting ready to wrap this thing up with a bow. We have had tremendous growth during 2023, and it's happening all across the Alliance. And people are getting promoted. So these are the people that you will see walking the stage at A View from the Edge. And I recommend you get there because it's going to be some aha moments going on when you see how normal we are, but we just are going out here killing this thing. So shout out to brand new qualified agency managers, Sean Mayo and Taylor Lovelace down in Florida. Also, Marnie Frank, qualified regional manager down there in Florida. Shout out to the Dream Team's very own Miss Mia Fennell, qualified national manager. Shout out to Brittany Weinberg, part of Alliance AMG Group, baby, qualified vice presidents. Woohoo! Eric and Bobby Belair down there in Melbourne, Florida, where they say they like to aim high to enjoy in this pie. Qualified executive vice president Tom Murphy, qualified executive vice president. Terry and who, me? Terry and Tia Edwards, qualified executive vice presidents. And last but not least, my big boss, Andy Riddle, senior board member, not 1, not 2, but 3, senior board member 3, baby. Woo! We have so much good stuff going on, guys. And this is what I would recommend. If your wood is wet, you might be a little cold, get around the fire, get around the heat, get to a local event, get around the people who are growing. Because what I know is a lot of this business is caught and not taught. And if you get around the fire, I guarantee you're going to catch on fire. And people going to come and watch you burn. So ladies and gentlemen, those are the church's announcements on this Sunday morning. Please govern yourselves accordingly. We're getting ready to get into the training. Can you put my esteemed guest up on the screen right now? So ladies and gentlemen, on today, I am so excited to share the platform, the stage, the airways, the metaverse. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, I am just fired up to be in good company on today. And today we're going to be talking about one thing that can change everything in your business. Listen, one thing that can change everything about your business. And that one thing that we all so desperately need is duplication. I read a book every day. I don't try to push my faith on anybody else, but I do read the Bible every day. I think it's the #1 best-selling book. That's one that's been #1 on the list forever, right? But it says this right here. 1 could chase 1,000, and 2 can put 10,000 aflight. See, it's just something special when not only you can have success with something, but when you can bring other people along with you. That is amazing. And that is what we're going to talk about today, is how to get that duplication in your business. Jeff Welch said this right here, that duplication is when you lead a large group of people to do just a few simple tasks over a sustained period of time. Let me repeat that. Duplication is when you lead a group of people to do some very simple things over a sustained amount of time. Randy Gage, an American author, he said it this way: success without duplication is merely future failure in disguise. Success without duplication is merely future failure without in disguise. So when we start talking about duplication, guys, we are talking about reproducing, right? Reproducing. I used to work for McDonald's when I was growing up in Murfreesboro, North Carolina. Murfreesboro. That's the way the people back home said. They said, go to that Murfreesboro. It's Murfreesboro, not Tennessee, Murfreesboro, North Carolina. I used to work at McDonald's, and it was crazy because literally it was a store full of 16-year-olds making the franchise owner a lot of money. And the crazy part about it was when you worked in one McDonald's, it was the same as working in another location. So when I went to Elizabeth City State University, I just put in for a transfer from the Murfreesboro location to the Elizabeth City location. And when I walked into the Elizabeth City location, they didn't have to retrain me. Fries was on the left, shake was on the right. You just drop the fries down, hit the button, you wait 3 minutes, you shake them, you salt them, and you package them, and you get them out the door. The other cool part I used to like about it was when we ran out of materials. Because sometimes when you're busy, you underestimate demand and you didn't order enough cheeseburgers or patty meat, or you run out of buns. All we had to do was call the McDonald's and a Hosky and be like, hey, can we get some of them quarter pound of meat? And they'll tell me to go over there and get it. I go over there and get it, come back. It was the same patty meat. So big companies, they got big because they understood duplication and the benefits of duplication and how you could get more done quicker, and you got scalability. So let me ask you a question. If big corporate America figured it out, a lot of people brag about being a small business owner. I don't want to be a small business owner. I want to be a big business owner, so that whether I am here or not, things are getting done and money is being made and product is being sold. If you want duplication and you want a big profitable business, throw up in the chat, he is talking about me. I want a big profitable business. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of paying small when big is available. Now, there is a difference though. So duplication is great, right? But the opposite of duplication is imitation. I don't know how this is going to fly over, but I'm going to go there because I'm already out there. Tanisha, Mia, Josh, y'all better have my back. But there's a difference between duplication and imitation. You see, imitation is something that's produced as a copy, but the definition in the dictionary said it's counterfeit. See, duplication is when you can reproduce the same results. Think about it this way. Think of it like this. You got a real Louis Vuitton pocketbook, and then you can go on certain websites and go get an imitation Louis Vuitton. While both of them look identical from afar, you can't tell a difference. But if you get close and you start paying attention to details, you will see that the knockoff is irregular. The stitching ain't stitching, huh? If you be around it long enough, or you get enough wear and tear, that shoulder strap will start to tell on you, huh? If you buy a pocketbook and it's supposed to be a designer pocketbook and it's got bubble wrap around the handle, you ain't dealing with the real deal. But what I found out, Mia, in life is today we live in a microwave society. So instead of working hard and earning enough money to buy an authentic pocketbook, a lot of people have settled with a knockoff, with a lookalike, with an imitation. And let me tell you this, while imitation, and this is what get me, imitation crab meat. Oh my God, that kills my spirit. But I'm gonna go on. But y'all, so imitation, we don't want anybody to imitate us as leaders. We're looking for people to duplicate. See, when you imitate, it's almost like you force yourself to be authentic and try to talk like somebody, walk like somebody, dress like somebody. But can you copy the spirit and the system, but sometimes put your own little seasoning on it so that it's authentic and it's yours, and you can now go for the long haul. So I've been talking a lot, guys, and I got some power hitters on the call today. And we're going to, first of all, want everybody to introduce themselves. But before I let them introduce themselves, I want to brag on them a little bit. So we got 3 different people from the Dream Team on the call today at 3 different points in the business, but all of them are doing a great job duplicating the system. So number 1, we got Mr. Josh Parker. He hails from Greensboro, North Carolina. And I just want to say this right here. Last month in February, he qualified as a key leader, okay? His team did a little over 14,000. He got a brand new team getting started. But on his personal production, he wrote 10,577 on his own pen on a part-time basis. So Josh Parker, if you don't mind, unmute yourself. Let everybody know who you are. How long have you been connected with the Alliance? And number 1, just one thing of what are you most excited about right now?
Thank you so much, Terry, for allowing me to speak on today. And thank you to the Alliance as well. Like Terry said, my name is Joshua Parker, out here in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I've been with the Alliance for a little over a year, about a year and a half a month. And the things I'm looking the most forward to right now is Denver. I can't wait. The last conference in Dallas is kind of what got me boosted, and you know, just so psyched and ready to go out and kill this game. And I'm looking forward to the next one.
Gotcha. I'm Josh, and you do this on a part-time basis. What do you do full-time?
So full-time, I am a federal student loan servicer. So I help people, you know, finance their loans, deferments, and forbearances, stuff like that when they in trouble.
All right, listen, just so I'm gonna help you out, Josh. If you got past due student loans, don't be calling him asking for the hookup. He can't help you. You about to call Biden and them try to figure out if they're gonna give you some student loan forgiveness, right? All right. Did I do good for you?
That was good. Thank you.
All right, cool. We also have a young lady who has been hanging around, and you know, sometimes when you're planted somewhere, people don't see the sprout, right? But just because you don't see the sprout don't mean growth ain't happening. And this young lady, over the last 3 years, her roots have been growing underground, and now we're starting to see the sprouts, and I'm getting excited talking about her. Her name is Tanisha Staton. Last month, recognized agency manager for the first time, and we know that March is going to be wrapped up, so she will be walking the stage, getting her ring. Last month, her group did $41,261, and she wrote $13,160 on her personal pen. So Tanisha, tell everybody hello and what's going on.
Hello, Alliance family. Thank you, Terry and Tia and Andy and Jane, for this opportunity. My name is Tanisha Staton. I am in Monroe, North Carolina. I've been part of the Alliance. It'll be 5 years in June.
5 years.
I'm excited. Yes.
So Tanisha started out very part-time, and now she's full-time, has an office in Monroe. So we're really excited about her. And who brought her to the table? Miss Mia Fennell. Now, all of us old heads, our OGs that's been around for a minute, we all know Mia, but we got so many new people who have never met you, Mia. But let me introduce you a little bit. Just tell people, like when I talked earlier about the group who tripled their production from NatCon to now, which has only been 2 months. Mia Fennell leads that group. Qualified national manager in February, the shortest month of the year. Come on. Did $90,000 in annual premium, her group did. But on her personal pen, issue paid $33,867. Had 8 issue paid legs, about 13 unique writers. I think she got 16 tickets already sold for the View from the Edge. So Miss Mia Fennell, all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. Come on, Mia, tell the people hello.
Hey, everybody. It's Mia Fennell, hired by Terry and Tia Edwards. So happy to be on the call. Thank you, Annie and Jane. Thank you, Terry, for asking us to be here. And yes, we killed it these past few months and definitely excited to keep killing it for the rest of the year.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, guys, I think we're going to it's just us, the 4 of us sitting at the table talking, and the rest of the world just has a privilege to eavesdrop in on our conversation. Are y'all cool with that? So when we start talking about duplication, in my opinion, there are three things that need to be in place to get duplication. The first thing is setting an example. If we are looking to get other people to do something, I'm a firm believer that we have to show them what it looks like. We're living in a world now where, especially with these millennials coming up, the whole do as I say and not as I do, that ain't flying over too well with people. And then I heard Tim Goad say this a lot of times. We teach what we know, but we duplicate who we are. So when we talk about setting the example, Josh, when we talk about setting the example, how are you setting the example for your team, or kind of what does that look like, what you have going on?
Okay. For me, for one, I'm actually writing consistent business. So on a weekly basis, we have our dream team calls where we post, how much we wrote for that week, and our team, my team sees that. So that's the first thing I'm doing, is trying to actually do what I'm having them to, want to do as well. And another thing that I do with my team is I do a Zoom meeting with my specific team. They are new, and the goal is to get them started quickly. So I'll do an individual Zoom or a team Zoom, so that they can, see the other people on our team as well. And we kind of feed off of that and trying to get them started as quickly as possible.
Gotcha. Now have you've been around about a year and a half. Have you felt like you've always set a good example for your team?
No. At the time, yeah. At the time, I thought I was setting a good example. But no. When I came in, this is my first time owning a business or being a part of a business. So I had a really great leader in Terry, but I it's like I kind of started to want to be a leader without learning how to follow first. So it was a lot of things that I was learning, and I'm like, oh, I can do that, and I can do it like this too. Instead of duplicating, I was trying to imitate to an extent, and I'm learning now to one, be a follower of a great leader. And then now that I have people that are under me, I'm able to be a great leader because I've learned how to follow.
That's good. That's good. Oh man, that's good. You have to be a good follower before you can be a good leader. And it's crazy because in this business, especially when you're recruiting and bringing people in, you have to be a follower and leader at the same time, which is tricky. I love it. I love it. Tanisha, talk to us about setting the example.
Setting the example is following the system. It's like we don't have to reinvent the wheel. The leadership has already tried it. If it didn't work, they threw it out. If it worked, they kept it. So all we have to do is follow it. So in setting the example, one of the things that I do that I know my team can do, even though we don't like to, is make some dials. It's not gonna hurt. Like Andy said on the activity call, we got to create an avatar, because when they hang up on you, they're not hanging up on you. They're hanging up on the avatar. So you just brush it off and keep on dialing.
I love it. I love it. And it's crazy because your example, okay, I should have known. You normally was writing $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had 1 or 2 good months here and there, but about $3,000-4,000 a month is about where you settled in at. You got a good hum, right?
Yeah.
But over the last 2 months, your presence and your activity has tremendously increased. What has made you 4x your activity and your results over the last couple of months?
NatCon kind of put it in perspective. Like you always say, big decisions happen at big events. I decided that it was my time. Just because everybody else saw it in me before, I wasn't ready. But I was ready, and then I'm getting heat. I'm like in a sandwich in between Kathy Hepburn and me and Fennell. So it's like, by irritation or motivation, you gonna move and do something, because we see something in you that until you see it in yourself, you gonna focus on, you gonna get it off of our belief.
You said by irritation or by motivation.
Yes.
Oh, you just can't drop that and then just leave it. You said by so Mia is on top. Mia brought you into the business. She's been killing it.
Yes.
And then Kathy is under you.
Yes.
Who, y'all know Kathy Hepburn. She's been on the TWC, her and Fred. And let me just let y'all know, Fred is not a Fred. To be clear, Fred went out, made some dials this week. He's been in the house. So guess what, guys? Fred is not a Fred no more. Y'all just call him Fred when you see him at A View from the Edge. I just needed to put that out there. But so a lot of times we talk about how to motivate people is to get somebody under them fired up. But we had somebody under you and on top of you. So the building was on fire on the top floor and in the basement. So you had to either barbecue or mildew. So you said by irritation or by motivation. What was irritating you or what was motivating you? To unpack that.
Okay, so it was kind of like Kathy's at the bottom, Mia's on at the top. Now my husband is on this other side talking about, what you gonna do? You gonna do something? I see it in you. So I'm catching it all the way around. So at NatCon, when I was like, I'm ready, Kathy was like, I'm gonna be on your butt. So on Mondays and Thursdays, if I don't text her, oh, she like, I ain't heard from you. Mia like, what you doing? You quiet. It's like, oof, my goodness. I hate I even told y'all. I should have kept it quiet. But you know what? It's all right. But the other thing is, we've been working for a greater goal that's bigger than me. It's about the team. Dream Team has some goals, and we all put our heels in the ground and we've been going.
I love it. I love it. So it was irritation because you like, I ain't here if I ain't. What you doing? Your husband saying, what you gonna do? You got a little irritated, but then you got motivated at the event, and now it's turning into premium. Oh my gosh, Tanisha. Oh my gosh, girl, you done got me fired up. Mia, talk to me about that example.
I get so excited when we all talk. This is crazy. Okay, so for me, I would say setting the example. It starts with working, right? Because I live my life according to Proverbs 14:23. All hard work brings profit, but talk is only going to lead to poverty. That's number one. But the other thing is this: communication. So I remember I got to a point in my business where I was working and doing what I thought was the right thing to do, but I wasn't communicating effectively with my leaders. I wasn't communicating effectively with my team. And I got into this silo. And a part of being in that silo was I started questioning, what am I really doing? You know, I'm making money. It's not really a money thing anymore because I'm making great money now. I'm serving my clients, but I'm what is my purpose for really continuing to go as hard as I'm going, right? So I got to a point where I was a little bit burnt out. But what I noticed when I was in that place, I wasn't communicating effectively. Here's what I know. I was always told this: you are the sum of the 5 people that you associate with the most, right? So I found myself, even if you're just associating with yourself in your silo on your island, you're not associating with anybody else. So how can anybody put that pressure on you, like what Tanisha is talking about, to help you grow? So one of the things that I did when I said, okay, I need to change what's happening in my business. How am I going to set a better example? Let me communicate better. Let me talk to Terry and Tia better. Let me talk with my team more. And I just started, we just went off. And that's what it is that's happening in our group. I think that, so many people do this business alone. And if you do this business by yourself, you're going to end up by yourself, just like I was, questioning what it is that you're doing. But y'all, this is a team sport. This is a team. I mean, we the dream team, baby. So this is something that we really get to do every single day. Hang out with our friends, talk to people, encourage each other, motivate each other, follow the most amazing leadership that I've ever encountered in my life. And this is who we are. So Terry, for me, it comes to, I just would tell everybody that if you are operating in a silo, come out of your silo. We need you to be communicating with us. We need you to be more involved and engulfed in the team so we can get this thing done together.
I love it. And so you talked about burnout, and I remember we had a conversation and it got a little intense. Not in a negative way. We wasn't shouting at each other. It was nothing. All positive came out of it. And you was talking about being burnout. And I remember talking to you about burnout doesn't happen when you get tired of what you're doing. Burnout happens when you forget why you are doing it. And what are you doing this for? Why in the world did God even waste time to breathe air in your nostril? What's your mission? Like, do you remember that conversation? Kind of like,
yes.
Okay, so kind of like give people, see, sometimes people think that, we just sit around and wear our little sweaters and come up with what we're going to wear to the events and stuff like that. There ain't no fierce conversations going on in the background, but kind of like what were you thinking, like, as we was having that conversation? How did you process it and turn that conversation into really a launching pad to where you're going now?
Yeah. So there was actually 2 conversations. We had one in, I think it was November, either September, November. And then we had another one, the most impactful one on January 6th of this year. And, in November, I was still thinking about just me, right? And I was like, well, I'm not really achieving. I'm achieving stuff, but I'm working within myself. And yeah, things are going really good, but I still didn't really hone in on the mission and what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. So that was the first time you put the question out to me, Mia, why did God really take his time to create you? And that stuck with me, right? So I continued throughout my journey, but on January 6th of this year, I came to you and I said, you and Tia, and I said, hey, I think that what I want to do is just be a personal producer. And y'all didn't fight me on it. You didn't say, well, Mia, no, don't do that. Just try to keep trying to build a team. But you did ask that question, Mia, have you forgotten your why? Have you forgotten why you're really doing this? Or do you need a new why? And that right there really clicked for me. Because yes, I had gotten into the motion of doing the business, but my why, I had forgotten really what it was that I dug deep inside of me. I had to dig deep inside of me to figure out, why am I really doing this? And when I remembered the faces of my team, when I remembered the faces of my clients, when I remembered how it felt to, when I'm driving in the car all over the state of North Carolina selling, and I'm talking on the phone, recruiting. And I just know, I remember the feeling of, okay, I'm doing something pleasing to God. I'm doing something that's going to be memorable for my family, that's going to be impactful for my family. That is what it was. It's bigger. What we do every day, and I like to say what we get to do every day, is be able to grow a business that's going to last well long beyond us. And that's what I'm proud of. So I'm grateful that, you guys really took time to talk to me, and we communicated, and I told you what I was thinking, but you didn't back down. And you challenged me, not in a disrespectful way, but you gave me something to think about. And I'm so grateful for that conversation, because I could have been out the game. I couldn't have not even been on this call right now, but changing and resetting my mind and refocusing on what it is that we need to be doing. That's what it was for me. That's why we're here today.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I remember texting you the other day too. I was just like, thank you for sticking in there with me, because I can be a lot. So you got to know yourself. I know I could be a lot. So when you talked about me not fighting you, I remember that fighting you didn't work, because I was trying to force your hand sometimes and tell you what to do. And if anybody know anything about Mia Fennell, you ain't telling Mia Fennell what to do. So it was just like, okay, the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expect something different. So when you said, I don't want to do it no more, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna just back down. But look how it actually gelled us closer together. And that's big. And the other thing that you said too is you remember the faces. I think sometimes we can get so busy trying to make sure that we're filling in the dots and moving up the levels chart and all that stuff, or just this is a lead. But the moment that we should never forget that behind each bubble on the on the organizational chart, each dot represents a soul. It represents a family. Every lead, while it's on paper, there's a story that comes out of every lead and every person that we interact with. So you guys are doing an amazing job setting the example. We know that we're not reading our own press clippings right now. We know that we still got more work to do, and we are humble and we are hungry, and we are keeping everybody at this heightened level of awareness of where we are, what we're trying to accomplish, and when we gonna do it, and what success is gonna look like, and how we finna crash the stage at our View from the Edge. And it's like the red carpet is gonna be lit, baby. The second part of duplication, so the first part is setting an example. The second part is getting your team off to a good start. My son runs track, and I always hear the coach when I go pick them up and they are finishing practicing like the block, they doing block work, and the coach is always saying, you got to get out the blocks, get out the blocks, get out the blocks, you can't stand the block, get out the blocks, Edwards. So it's like, how do we help people get out the blocks fast? Because we know that fast is fun and slow is painful, right? But whether you want to go fast or you want to go slow, we here for the ride. So Josh, what are you doing to help your team get started fast? Because you've got a brand new budding team that's getting started. What are you doing to help position them for success faster than what you've received?
So what I do is right now I put together Terry had we had a Monday night dream team call, and we went over the different ways to get, or basically the intro to get your recruit started. So what I try to do, like I said earlier, I'll do a Zoom with them, and we'll go over step by step. Okay, this is what you need to do first. Okay, you got your license. Okay, we need to get anti-money laundering. Okay, you got that. Okay, we need to get contracted with this specific group of carriers. Okay, you got that. Okay, now let's look at these get started quickly videos. you know, and just try to, you know, get them step by step. Because this is, you know, in this business, it's possible to get to a point where your recruits are like, what do I do now? Okay, I don't know what to do. Is there any training? You know, and a lot of it's our job, you know, to take care of that, so they don't have to feel like you got me in this and now I'm by myself. You know, I'm alone. So that's what I started in my group, to get them started a little quicker.
So you got a systematic approach to step 1, step 2, and you're holding their hand, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what I'm doing right now. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, good deal. Tanisha?
Yes, I'm following that same process. It's like, get them licensed, anti-money laundering, contracts, get it started. While we waiting on the contracts to come in, we doing training, setting their ATM up, starting to help see who are we booking these practice appointments with. Letting them know the importance of having some policies on themselves, because if you don't have it on yourself, you can't sell nothing to me. Nothing. So just giving them steps, giving them the elephant one bite at a time, instead of telling them, here, just do all of this. Because if you do that, they're going to be like, no, this is too much. So we're just kind of hand holding and doing it together.
Sweet. Mia?
I hand hold too, but I like to bring, as soon as somebody comes in the business, I like to throw them in our family. We get people on these, same as y'all, we get people on the call, the team call, but I like to do stuff with people. I like to invite them to my church. I want to go out to eat with them. I want to build a true relationship, introduce them to other people. You can ask anybody on my team. I introduce them to everybody, because the thing about it is, here's what I know. I know that Mia is just one person, but if Mia is not available, okay, who else can I talk to? I have a relationship with Tanisha, or maybe I can give Josh a call, or there are so many people cross-line in our organization that have built friendships and developed relationships with each other. And they're doing it now, that when we just throw them in, they're doing it on their own. They're saying, oh, well, I saw Tanisha on the call, so let me give her, hey, Tanisha, can we have a conversation? That's what we do. And I think that's our culture. That's who we are. We're just making sure that when you come around us, you feel at home. So we had a young lady, she's watching the TWC right now. Her name is Makita. She came out last night to the to our hotspot here in Charlotte, and she just we got her in. She fit right on in with us, and she's hanging out, going to dinner with us after the hotspot. It's just amazing how we do within our team and within the alliance, where we can just plug and play with anybody, put them anywhere, and they feel at home.
And that's one of the benefits of duplication, is when we're all doing it the same way, saying the same thing, it's causing all of our businesses to go faster, but it's also like it makes people trust you more. Because if you say something and then you turn around and they talk to Tanisha, and Tanisha saying the same thing, and then they talk to Josh, he's saying the same thing, it's like we're all becoming more trustworthy. And we know when the speed of trust is high, we can get a lot of stuff done faster, cheaper, and more profitable. So that is good, man. Throwing people around. And that question was kind of a setup, because we all are doing the same thing. I remember I heard one time Andy said that you don't rise to the occasion, you rise to the level of your training. See, you are who you are under pressure. I think that was Doc Rock said that too. You are who you are under pressure. And speaking of pressure, when I go back and think about Tanisha, she was getting that pressure from all sides. And what was in there is now coming out, because it's being squeezed out. So this production, this Tanisha that we're seeing, it was already in there, but she had to be under that pressure to squeeze it out. And luckily, it was a good pressure from very good people. So I ain't know Junior was giving you some grief too. I'm gonna text him and be like, bruh, put a little bit more pressure on it. Put more pressure. All right, guys. So number one is setting the example. Number two, to get duplication, is getting your team started quickly. The quicker we can get people successful, the more that they believe that they can have more success, right? But the third part is using tools to help create duplication. And some of the tools that I have always used since I've been a part of the Alliance, I want to share them with you. Number one is the 8 steps to success. I wholeheartedly believe in these 8 steps. I live these 8 steps. And when I got started, and they told me if I do what's in this book, I got a good chance. They can't make no guarantees. Just in case. Can't make no guarantees. But if you do these 8 steps, we don't have anybody not, making good money doing it. So why wouldn't you do it? My thought was, well, at least if I do what they tell me to do, it don't work. At least I can point the finger at them. But so I believe the 8 steps to success. We give these books out like candy, and we talk about them all the time. And we're surprised at how many people we give the book to, they never open them up. Then we got the Millionaire Maker Manual, the Green Book. Like, it's details how to build the business, how Andy built a multiple monthly 6-figure income doing this business, right? Then we got this book right here, the House Book, the House of Values and Behaviors. Jeff Bright and Andy Albright put a formula together to build an organization. Like, to me, this book right here is the X factor in our business. If you want to build a team, do this stuff right. It's 32 behaviors in here that will change your life. Then this Growth Without Risk book, talking about moving annuities. Come on now. When we find annuity money, we drop this book off, we give it to them. Now we got a reason to come back and see them. And this book is going to do all the explaining and selling for you. IULs, we got this book here, Patrick, Stress-Free Retirement. Like, these resources. So let's talk about the tools that we're using to duplicate. So Josh, what kind of tools are you implementing within your business?
Okay, sorry about that. The tools that I'm actually implementing right now are a lot of the tools are basically what I'm learning on our Dream Team calls. Whenever we have our meetings and things like that, I take notes now. It's one thing that I should have mentioned earlier. I didn't do that before. And that's one thing that I encourage my team to do now. I used to I attended the meetings, didn't really learn a whole lot because I may have learned, but I didn't remember because I wasn't writing them down. So now when I'm on the meetings, I'm usually taking notes from Terry, and then I kind of implement those back to my team, especially the ones that are not able to get on. And we kind of go over and still basically in that following stage, learning, because I've been doing this for a year. But doing the business and doing it the correct way is like totally different, right? I was in the business for almost a year, just doing whatever kind of. So now I'm learning to implement the things that I've learned. And one thing that I tell my team is that I learned as a child from my father is, you are responsible for your success and no one is the cause for your failure. That's the big thing. We are all responsible for our success, and a lot of people have no problem taking the responsibility of their success. Oh yes, I'm successful because I did it. But then if it's a failure, it's a little harder to take that responsibility. We want to kind of blame who we can find to blame while we're not successful. Right. But that's pretty much what I use.
That's right. A good pen beats a good memory any day, don't it?
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Tanisha?
Okay, so what I'm doing is pretty much teaching them and I have to remind myself of this on a regular basis. The 4 basics. Call from the home. It doesn't make you look dumb when you call from the home. It makes your client feel like you care enough about them to make sure you're doing the right thing for them. Filling out a green sheet, a complete green sheet. Don't call from the home and then have to ask your client how old they are. Have it filled out before you call. And don't call on speaker either. The other thing is that safe money. When you get the safe money, call BAM. Chris and his team, they waiting to help us. They just want us to find it. We don't have to do everything by ourselves. We have people that are in place, our partners that want to work with us to help us succeed. And then recruit across the table, because there's so many people out here that are looking for a part-time, anytime, sometime. They just need a little bit of something. They're 9 to 5. They just do it because they have to. Here, they can come here and they can belong before they behave.
I know that's right. I love it. I love it. Mia?
Okay, so this is going to sound a little unorthodox. So the biggest tool that I see is getting somebody a paycheck. Okay, let me explain. So the way that I was told, the wealthy view money as a tool, right? The people who are not wealthy, you view money as just something they can spend. My thing is, the best training I can give you, the best way that I can show you this business works is to actually get you paid. How many people are in businesses right now and they've never ever even made a single check? Okay. So when we bring people on board, step one in the 8 steps to success is buying a policy on yourself. A lot of times that policy will pay you. We also do practice appointments when it comes to making sure that you go out and see people that you know before you actually start doing leads. If I can get a check into your hand, I'll make you a believer. Okay. That's all we need to do. Or that's not all we need to do in general, but that to me is the biggest tool. And that's how I view this business. As you're bringing in money through this business, and trust me, you can make a lot of money in this business, but a lot of people don't use their money and view it as a tool. You can use that money to buy more leads. You can use that money to invest in your team, buy office space, all this stuff. Right? Okay. Right. So if you think about it like that, it's not about the cha-ching, having the money in the bank. That's all good. But the biggest thing is, the best motivation I can give you is to give you a check, get you a check. Because if I can help you get a check one time, I can help you get a check another time and another time. And next thing you know, you won't even need me to help you get the check, because I lead people to water. I can't make them drink, but I will lead you there. I know where it's at. Okay, I know where the water is.
Hey, you know where the water at. And speaking of water, we're going to wrap this thing up with a bow. I remember a saying that Andy used to say all the time is, you want your money to flow like a river. You want your money to flow like a river. We want information to flow like a river, because as long as things are flowing, things are living. So if you are at a point in your business where maybe you feel like that things have dried up, the brook is dry, things ain't going the way that you want to, ask yourself, number one, am I duplicating? Number two, if everybody in my team duplicated what I did today, what type of team would I have? Let me ask you again. If everybody on my team duplicated what I did today, what type of team would I have? Because this is what I know. A lot of people want to hire the guy when the guy that's going to kill this thing is looking for somebody to follow. Leadership. We're in a leadership crisis in America right now. A lot of people know how to talk the talk, but very few people know how to walk the walk. Everybody wants to be have a course and all this and that, but show me the fruit on the tree, baby. When you come to a view from the edge on April the 21st through the 25th, this is going to be, we putting our fruit on display. You know, when you go in the grocery store and you walk over there in the fruit aisle, they got all the oranges stacked up, apples real pretty. They don't put the ugly apples on top. You know what I'm saying? Them down there at the bottom supporting the base. But at the view from the edge, you're going to see our shining apples. And I guarantee you this right here. If you get around our shining apples, you're going to start to see a reflection of yourself in that shine. Because if God can make this thing happen for you, happen for other people, I know he can make it happen for you. Because one thing I love about this business is this right here. if we don't have anybody working, not making money, we got a lot of people pretending. We got a lot of people who post like they working. They want to be an Instagram superstar model. But where the premium at, baby? Where the premium at? April the 21st, you're going to see who's producing the premium. You're going to see how they do it, and they're going to give you the steps. So all I'm asking you to do is get to that event, April the 21st, get to a local event, get around the culture, get around the fire, and I guarantee you, when you set yourself on fire, baby, other people are going to come and watch you burn. Listen, thank you so much for spending this hour with us on the TWC this week. We hope you had as much fun as we had hosting it, and we can't wait to see you at our next big event. I love you guys, and we are signing off. Love you.
Record.